So last week I asked you all what would you like to see for today's devlog, and I got tons of great answers. My favorite one though came from Leo Salazar, who said, boss battle? So of course that's what I'm going to be covering in today's video, and I'll actually be playing through the game's first boss battle live, but before I do that I thought I would explain what kinds of bosses exist in the Outbound Ghost. Firstly, there's the regular bosses that are kind of like regular enemies. Enemies in the Outbound Ghost are products of the player's imagination, and they represent parts of their past memory. I've called these memory break bosses because they happen when the player, gets a memory break, so that's the first one. But then there's also the second kind, which are figment bosses. In the game, your party members are figments of your imagination, and they are manifestations of your feelings. For example, you've got regret, spite, trust, camaraderie, a lot of them. But your player is actually not the only character who has these figments. There are other ghosts in the world that have these as well. This isn't common though, and most people in this world don't have their own figments, but those that do normally can't see others'. There are some rare circumstances where it is possible to see them though, but I won't spoil when that is since it's very important to the plot. What's important for you to know is that this category of bosses, the figment bosses, works such that you have to pit your own figments against other ghosts' figments. Sometimes you might have similar ones if your character is similar in personality to the other ones you're fighting, but sometimes they will have completely different figments. So for example, you might use your annoyance to fight somebody else's jealousy, and it's kind of funny to imagine how this works in actuality when you're playing the battle out, so you're kind of annoying the jealousy out of someone. So yeah, these are the two kinds of the boss battles that exist in the Outbound Ghost, and the first one that I will be playing through now is the first kind. That is, a regular memory that has been manifested into a particularly difficult enemy. If you'd like to see another video where I cover a figment boss though, let me know in the comments and I can do that. Anyways, let's get to the live demonstration. So I'm loading up the game right now, and you might notice that the title screen is completely new. I've never shown this before, and Adam, who is the brand director at Digital, which is the game's publisher, has designed this, and it looks fantastic. So happy with how it's looking. But yeah, let's go in and load this file that I've prepared, which is right in front of the first boss. So here we are, with Mary following us, and before I actually go to the boss, I'm actually going to go to this little vampire enemy that is basically like a mini version of the boss, and you'll see why. So these vampires, they have this mechanic called lifelink, right? So you see that these bats here are applying lifelink to the vampire, and I'm going to show you exactly what that means. So you might notice as well, there's a lot of UI changes in the battle, so that's pretty awesome. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to attack the vampire, right? You can see that these persons, or these apparitions are linked to the vampire, and try to attack it. 1 damage, so I probably should not be attacking to the vampire. And the reason for why it's only taking 1 damage is because it's got 2 of these little bats lifelink to it, right? And so the only way to make it such that this guy can take damage is through defeating these 2 bats or removing the lifelink. And so you can remove statuses through applying 3 statuses, and then it kind of removes all the ones from the stack. So each character can only have 1 status at a time. Sorry, 3 statuses at a time, and this one happens to have 1. So I've actually put some equipment on my camaraderie that makes it not take too much damage because I want to do it more healing for the boss. But these 2 other ones can do some good damage. So I'm going to try to stun this guy, and I'm going to speed up all my battles just so that it goes a bit more quickly. So, okay, let's see if I can try to swift hit that one. There you go. So there's only 1 left now. You know what, I mean, this guy's not really doing anything. I'm just going to use it to buff my main attacker. And so I'm going to do that twice because I have 2 torn points. And, yeah. Let's see how that goes. So I don't have enough SP to do another stun break, which has very good stun damage. But yeah, you know, it doesn't really matter because I can rely on my regret, which is this guy over here. So I'm going to do this. You'll notice there... big effect. Basically, when both of the 2 life-linked bats are defeated, this guy goes stunned for 2 turns. So this guy's still going to do very little damage because I put it as a major healer, but you'll see that this guy here does a lot more. And the next one should actually one-shot him. There we go. So that was it for the battle, and this is a new fanfare that I haven't shown before yet on YouTube. So a lot of new stuff in this devlog, and you might have noticed the new battle gauge and everything. So lots of cool stuff. So that was the first test battle that kind of showed you what lifelink did. And before I go into the boss, I'm going to show you what aspects, or their basically equipment, my figments have. So the first one is called Nail Clip. Increases the user power by 25%, but prevents them from dealing any stun damage. And this is important because I'm really not going to be dealing any stun damage in the conventional way against the boss because it's just going to be through lifelink. So that's, you know, a good source of damage. Then I've got 2 reconstructions. Sorry, no, I got reconstruction, 1 HP and SP at the beginning of every turn, and then just generic 10% more power. And then for camaraderie, I have Reconstruction 1 twice, so 2 HP and SP at the beginning of every turn, and then Selfless Mending, so 0 power, but healing is increased by 15%. Pretty useful for the boss. I don't think I'm going to need any extra damage on that front, so that's a good use. Stun Break on Callousness, so basically makes it such that you deal a lot of stun damage. And here we've got some lifesteal on 2 ends. Here it's a bit more lifesteal, but it reduces some power. And so we're going to go into the boss now, and you'll see that we've got some cool screen effects. And so this is how you know that a boss is coming up. So, you know, if you want to do any equipment checks or anything before, you'll know. And then the closer you get to it, the more extreme the effect is going to be. So let's go into the boss. And there we go. This is the boss scene, first time I'm ever showing it. As you can see, it's a pretty menacing boss. And the boss art is actually not finalized yet. This is just the sketch that I got from Clay, who's our artist. And it's going to be the same design, but it's going to be a bit more cleaned up. We're going to have more animations. So far, we only have the idle one. But it's the same boss, right? So we kind of know what to do now because we defeated the other enemy. So what are we going to do? I'm going to ether up and stockpile some turn points. So it's a pretty strong boss. You might notice that some things are not entirely finished, like animations and such, but that'll come. So we're going to do a bit more defending. And this guy, you know, this one only has 1 turn point. I'm going to use my mouse over here. Actually, you can't see it. Never mind. But basically, you can see there's the 1 out of 1 next to Callousness on the HP and SP kind of modal sort of thing. And that means I can only act once a turn, so it's not worth it to stockpile any more points. So I'm just going to use it as a general attacker. And I have a really cool strategy for this boss that I actually came up with right before recording this. And it's the reason for why I actually did the video on the boss. And you'll see after, it's incredibly cool. Okay, so there's that. Nice. So we did quite a bit of damage, and I think I'm just going to power up my Regret. I don't want to use too much SP too early, but I think it's worth it. And this guy's just going to do more damage. So I think with 2 hits I can defeat this one. Yeah, that should be fine. And so I actually think I might just only attack once with Regret, so I can time it perfectly such that Regret has 2 action points when the boss goes down to the lifelink. Perfect. So I'm just going to give my Callousness a bit more power so I can guarantee that this one goes down. But then my Regret doesn't have the 2 turn points, but that's fine, whatever. It's a decent enough boss. So what am I going to do? I am actually going to Magic Strikes here. It might do more damage. Okay, nice. So you can see I'm dealing a lot of damage to the boss right now. You might think, wow, that was an easy boss, right? Yeah, you'll see what's coming. So I'm going to heal up a bit. It's going to do a lot of healing because I have that equipment. And this guy, I'm just going to attack. Yeah, Sunbreak I don't think has any additional attack power. It's just stun. So yeah, you know, pretty decent. That's the first turn, and then I can do some more damage. I'm going to Magic Strikes again. So as you can see, this timing gauge is a completely new one that Adam made, and it's fantastic. Oh, there we go. This is the boss special attack, and it revives the bats. And if I'm not quick, the bats are going to apply lifelink again. And so I don't think I'm going to be quick enough. I'm definitely not going to be quick enough. But, you know, I can do some damage right off here. And so that's kind of how the boss goes, right? So I'm going to add some extra stuff afterwards to spice it up a bit. But that's just the general, you know, how it goes. And I'm going to heal up a bit here because I'm a bit low. And as you can see, I'm actually very tight on SP. And so I almost feel like I should have equipped some equipment that dealt with that a bit better. But it is how it is. I'm also very underleveled because I wanted to use you know, I wanted to really use the full extent of the game strategies, and I feel like you do that better when you're a bit underleveled, so you're forced to have cool strats. But here it might be a bit too much, but I guess we'll see. So can I apply minor power twice to my guy? Can I? I think I might be able to. So that's the second one. I'm actually going to end turn here, and I'm not going to attack twice to the boss because I want to apply power twice. And I can exactly use it twice because I had that equipment that gives me 2 SP every turn. So that was a great use of SP, or sorry, of equipment. Here, what am I going to do? I think I'm just going to attack, honestly. I think we might get a very big hit off here with Regret, because we've got this buff. So that's very good. And nice. So it's almost dead now. And now he's going to revive his underlings once more. And I'm very tight on SP. Sorry, HP. SP as well. I don't know what to do, honestly. Might have not been a great decision to make this guy kind of useless on the attack end. But, you know, it is how it is. So I'm going to use HP share on Regret. I really don't want Regret to die. But, you know, Calluses is a bit on edge. So, oh, I actually realized I could have attacked this guy just because he wasn't lifelinked yet. But that's not a big deal because I managed to get some HP out of it. So I've got the 2 buffs at the moment. I'm not going to Magic Strike because I want to use Swift Hit afterwards. And I'm just going to straight up attack this guy. Nice, perfectly. 20 to the T. And it's a bit risky. Oof. Lesser here is quite expensive SP-wise, so I'm not going to be able to use it for a while. So, you know, I might as well just go and do some attacking for the SP. If I was a bit more over-leveled, I would have had this attack called SP Seal, and I would have been able to, you know, take advantage of that. But I don't have that, so that's a bit of a problem. I think I should be fine, though. I'm going to barely win this, I think. But you can see that the combat in the Outbound Ghost can be a bit complex. Oh, I realized I didn't even use the cool strategy. I'll do my best to stall this battle out a bit and use it. Cool. So I'm going to be able to do that, and I'm going to deal as much damage right now while I can do that. So I can do this. Yeah. Cool. I'm actually not going to attack this time because I want to be able to use that. So I've got a bit more SP now, so next turn I should be able to use a heal. And then this is where the cool part comes in. So I'm going to Shelter on the boss. So generally what this does is it takes the hit on behalf of, you know, your character. But you'll see that it's actually really cool. So I'm not going to attack because this is going to attack myself, right? So I'm just going to, you know, I'm just going to end turn. So he's attacking himself, and it's kind of, oh no, okay, that was just, oof. I can't really heal this guy. Can I? No, I can't. But what I'm going to do is Shelter anyways, right? So I'm going to take the hit here, and you'll see that instead of lifelinking the boss, it's going to lifelink to my character. I find this so absolutely cool, and you can come up with awesome strategies when doing this. But I can't attack the boss now, right? But when you attack Callousness, it's not going to do any damage. So Callousness is basically invincible right now. Or it's going to do 1 damage, and it doesn't really help that it only has 2 HP. But it's a pretty awesome situation. And I might lose just because I wanted to show that off, but I think it'll be well worth it. Cool, cool. There we go. And so actually it won't be that big of a deal. And I might be able to win anyways. Oh no, it didn't. That's so stupid. I might not win now because of that. Oh, I think I'm going to lose, honestly. This is so close. Well, I lost the battle, but I showed that cool strategy in the end, and that's just kind of how it goes. Actually, I'm not going to lose. You know why? Because I'm going to type in something, and it's a really cool command that you might not know about. It's called win battle. And we won! Perfect. So yeah, that was the first boss battle. Still a bit work in progress, but the general idea of the battle will be the same in the final game. I'd love to hear what you think, and if you want to see how the Figment boss battles work, leave a comment letting me know that, and I can do that for the next video. I also wanted to mention that we're in the top 800 most wishlisted games on Steam, and we really want to make it to the top 500 before release. I've put the link in the description, and I would really appreciate it if you follow the link and give it a wishlist. Doing that will tell you when the game comes out, and it's actually really the best way to support the game if you want to see it succeed. And if you want to keep up to date with how that's going, subscribe here on YouTube. That's it for this week, and I'll see you all next time. Bye.